Hey everybody, Gisele Grenier here. OMFG, it is so hot. So what I'm going to be doing is I had planned to do, I had the travel journal and there was a whole bunch of projects, and then I wanted to start on the 1st of July a project called for Art a Day for 60 days to take us through July and August for kids and teens who are off on summer break. And the weather is just not being cooperative. It's not. It's 5 o'clock in the morning right now because this is the only time I can film. I've already lost 2 pieces of camera equipment from overheating. So what I'm going to be doing is, other than the one today, the future videos, I'm going to wear a headset. I'm going to put the air conditioner. I've got a portable air conditioner. I'm going to put that on, and hopefully you guys aren't going to be too distracted by the noise. I just can't risk ruining any more equipment. So, in this particular video, what I want to do is I want to create a project, and it can be done by anybody, kids, teens, parents, grandparents, whoever. And it's a great collaborative piece because everybody can do a little piece, then they take all their pieces, put it together on one large piece to create a piece of wall art, which would be great for a gift. So if it's kids and grandparents doing it, they can give it to the parents, that type of thing. But if you don't have any kids, or your kids have left home and they're on their own, you can do this for yourself. It's inspired by Kandinsky. I already did a swap for the circles, and I thought this would be a great piece to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to use leftover cardboard from whatever. If you don't have any leftover cardboard, grab some food packaging, cardboard, a corrugated card, anything. Cut it into a bunch of different random squares. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use gesso, and I use the Decor Media gesso, and just put gesso on there. And you can, and just to give you an example, you can put it on with a palette knife and then take a piece of paper towel to lift it up to get texture. You can apply it with a palette knife, or you can apply it with a brush for a smooth finish. Do a whole bunch like an assembly line, and you let those dry. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take, doesn't matter what colors you have. Ideally, if you're doing this with kids, use colors that you don't use a lot. Don't use your favorite colors or your really expensive paint, but use the colors that you don't use a lot, because kids have no concept of waste. They like using lots of paint. So put those on your palette, and then to save time, I've already done a bunch, is paint their pieces with a single color. And when I say a single color, I mean just, I even did a little bit of color mixing, and then I took some with white. So the colors that I used every single color. The Decor Media Fluid Acrylics, English Red Oxide, Viridian, Quinacridone Gold, Cobalt Teal Hue, Primary Yellow, Primary Magenta, Primary Cyan, Green Gold, Cobalt Turquoise Hue, and Translucent White. And these are the ones with white. So you can see they're a lot more pastel, and these are the pure colors. So you can see they're a lot more vibrant. This one here, I took a little bit of the primary yellow and the primary magenta to try to get some type of orange. I'm not a fan of orange, you guys know that. This is the primary magenta. This is the primary blue. I did some green mixtures just to show you my palette. So it doesn't really matter. Just create a whole bunch, and then let them dry. And then what we're going to do is I just use a flat brush for this. And I know I'm talking fast. I'm trying to get this done as fast as I can. It's so hot. And then get a round brush. If you have a few, depending, because they're all different sizes. So then what you're going to do is use the different colors, pure, add white, doesn't matter, just don't use black. And you're just going to paint circles. And I would say paint maybe 3, 4, or 5 circles with the bigger pieces. So what we're going to do is, just to give you, let's work on something light so it's easy to see. And so we're going to take our brush, and we can start on the outside, work in, or start inside and work out. Doesn't matter, but you have to let them dry. So ideally, again, an assembly line format. So I want to take this, a nice contrasting color to this is green. So I can take the green, and hopefully you guys can see. That's why I zoomed out the camera so my hand didn't get in the way. So, and the idea with the circles is that they're not to be perfect. So you get one done, and then you can fill it in. You can do this with your fingers. I was going to do this with my fingers, and I thought, oh my God, I'm having enough trouble trying to keep my nails clean. So doing some work in the backyard, and I don't like wearing gardening gloves. So there's a wonky circle. You know what the circle reminds me of? The circle in my Headspace app when I'm doing my meditation, because it's all a wonky circle. So there's a green one. So put that aside. Then you've got paint left over in your brush. I mean, you can do another one. Green on green. I don't know how well this is going to look. That. And then just do another one. Okay, so if you want to keep using up the paint, mix it up with a little bit of white. Look at that color. What would be a nice contrasting color? A dark background would be nice for this. So if I just took this one and make that a circle. So you're going to do this for all your pieces. You're going to create your first circle. Then when they're dry, you're going to come in and you're going to load another color. And then the next color, let's say we want to load the red. Red next to green, wet paint, you're asking for trouble. But let's see what happens. So then you're just going to go right beside, but ideally let it dry. I'm just trying to save some time here. And you're going to create another circle. Then you're going to let that dry. So you're going to do the next circle. By the time you've done all your outside circles, then you go to the next inner circle. Then you go to the next. That your pieces will dry, and that way you're not having to use your heat gun or hair dryer. And then you're going to go to the next color. Well, let's say I want to take a blue. And you're going to go inside. And if you overlap, when the colors are dry, if you overlap them, no biggie. You want to alter the shape? No biggie. Again, altering the shape, like where the circles all overlap, that's easier to do when the paint is dry. So there's another one. And then that dry. And then, oh, let's use, what else can I use? I want to use one more color. With all the colors here, you think I'd have no problem picking colors. I'm not used to working with these types of colors. I always color mixing. So I should go to a smaller brush. Now these paints are more translucent. If you don't like the translucentness, you can add white or go to your opaque colors. Now I just thought of something that would be really, really cool. Do I have one? Yes, I do. I have one that's got the packaging printing on here, but using the translucent colors, that's going to show through. And now I just came up with another idea for a project. And then right in the middle, depending on what you want for your bold color, I could use another red or I can use a blue. Let's use the blue and just put it inside. So you're going to do this for all the circles, not one at a time, but you're going to do them, base coat them first, then draw your inner circle, paint your inner circle, your outside circle, do the whole thing, then let that dry, then do your next circle inside, just the way I did it, but do them all at the same time. That way you're not having to, that way you're always working on a dry piece. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to do some and then I'll show you how to assemble it. But ideally you want a whole bunch of these, all different colors. Okay, don't worry about color theory. Don't worry about color mixing. Don't worry about perfect circles. But you want to make them circles. So even if they're oblong and all that stuff, that's what you want to do. Okay, so I think I'm going to fire up the AC. I'm going to paint a whole bunch of these and I'll show you putting them together. I'm going to show you how to put them together when we get back. All right, so I'm done and they're mostly dry. So you saw that I did a whole bunch of little compositions of different ways to set them up. If you want something really structured, then you get one piece of paper and then you make a whole bunch of lines, cut them out. That way they're guaranteed to fit in a perfect square. Or if you want to do it in a perfect circle, cut out a circle out of paper and then cut your squares and triangles and whatever shape you want to do out of that. So when you've got these all assembled, so these are little pieces that you can take some canvas or painted watercolor paper, whatever, it doesn't matter. And you can actually just put them right on here. So you can see how you can fit them. And just by, and it's like, and this is the part that makes it fun for kids, is putting the whole thing together. It does take some patience. So it's a matter of just, you know, going around, finding what fits. You can play with color. So you just work it like a puzzle. And they can be, the pieces can be touching, they can be not touching. It's completely up to you. So you just work it like that. That one's a little big, so let's put this one here. So something like that. And that's the part that really, the kids will, well, even teens, even adults. I mean, you saw how I was putting everything together. It's a lot of fun doing this. You really want to get creative, and it's because these canvases, they're gallery style, so they're not meant to be framed. You can even glue them on the side. That did take a little bit more work, but then you can take something that's really dark if you have really light pieces, and you can put it on that. So hopefully this will give you some ideas of what you can do with something so simple, and being inspired by Kandinsky. And if you want to learn more about the artist, Google him, and you can see all the stuff that he was into. But this is a great little way to do some abstract stuff without, you know, it's not so much doing abstract without knowing what you're doing, but it's so simple, and it does create something really pretty. Now I did it really fast. You can do this with paper cutouts as well. See, I can do this all day. Just assemble these pieces, and just to see what fits and what doesn't. And you can see that with the contrast, it is really pretty. But you can do this. You can cut out paper, and then just overlap the paper one on top of the other. Cut out cardboard. You know, take your pieces when you're base coating, and put some circle stamps. Circle stamps. I have some, you know, the ones I'm always using. Circle stamps, and then paint translucent colors on top of that. You saw that when I was doing the pieces, I had to use a lot of white with some to get that contrast. Because the fluid acrylics are fluid, they're more transparent. Plus, I didn't want to spend time putting on 5 or 6 layers of color to make it opaque. So adding white's a great way, but it also then makes it more of a pastel look. Totally fine, no big deal. So that's it. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I would love to see your pieces. And what you can do is, in the description below, there's a link to the communities, and it's a free community. To go in there, post your pictures there, because you can't do it on YouTube. And then you can see what everybody else is doing. Alrighty, so I hope that you enjoy this. I hope this kids keeps the kids, teens, young adults, and older adults busy for a while, creating some abstract art for your home, or for a gift, or just to keep somebody busy. Alrighty, so I gotta go clean up, fire up the AC again, and yeah, next video I'm wearing a headset with the AC on, so hopefully that won't bug you guys too much. Alrighty. Oh, and then you know how this works with questions. I'm always gonna ask a question, so share with me, have you ever created a piece of abstract art before? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, so until I see you next time, hopefully a little bit cooler, stay inspired.